In a small desert village lived a boy named Isa, known for his cleverness and quick thinking. He was always coming up with new ideas and solutions to the problems that plagued his village. The village had suffered a terrible drought for months, leaving the land parched and the people desperate for water. The once fertile fields were now barren, and the villagers were losing hope. The wells were dry, and the crops withered under the relentless sun. The livestock were weak, and the villagers struggled to find enough water to survive each day. The villagers, desperate and worried, gathered in the village square to discuss their fate. They knew they needed a miracle to save their village from the drought.
I have an idea, Isa said, his eyes lighting up with determination. Let me go to the great wind at the highest dune. Perhaps it can bring rain to our village. Perhaps it can bring rain and end our suffering.
Though doubtful, the villagers agreed to let Isa try. They had nothing to lose and everything to gain. With the sun beating down and the sand scorching his feet, Isa set off into the vast desert, determined to save his people and bring hope back to his village. Isa walked for hours, climbing the tallest dune. The sun blazed overhead and the sand burned beneath his feet, but he pressed on, determined to reach the peak. Each step was a struggle, but he knew he had to keep going for the sake of his village. When he reached the top, he called out, his voice echoing across the vast desert expanse.
Oh, mighty wind, we need your help. Our village is thirsty. Please bring us rain. The crops are dying and the wells are dry. Without your aid, we will not survive.
The great wind appeared, swirling above him, a powerful force of nature that seemed almost alive. It whipped the sand into a frenzy, creating a vortex that surrounded Isa.
You, a mere boy, dare to command me? The voice was deep and resonant, filled with ancient power. Prove your cleverness, and I will help you. The challenge was clear, and Isa knew he had to be smart.
Blow me down this dune, and I'll show you something you've never seen. His voice was steady, filled with confidence.
The wind laughed and blew with all its might, creating a powerful gust that swept across the desert, sending Isa tumbling down the dune. He rolled and tumbled, but he kept his wits about him. But Isa somersaulted through the air and landed gracefully on his feet. He stood tall, unscathed and proud. The great wind, impressed by his bravery and skill, agreed to help. It swirled around him, a promise of rain and life for his village. True to its word, the great wind called upon dark clouds. The sky, once clear and blue, began to transform into a canvas of swirling greys and blacks. The villagers, who had been praying for rain for months, looked up in awe and anticipation. Soon, the sky over the village began to darken. The once bright and scorching sun was now hidden behind a thick blanket of clouds, casting long shadows over the arid landscape. The air grew cooler, and a sense of hope filled the hearts of the villagers. Isa arrived just as the first drops of rain began to fall. He had journeyed far, guided by the whispers of the wind, and now stood at the edge of the village, feeling the cool, refreshing droplets on his skin. The rain was a promise of life, a gift from the heavens. The villagers were astonished, rushing outside as the wells filled, their joy uncontainable. They danced and sang, their spirits lifted by the long-awaited rain. Children splashed in the forming puddles, and elders raised their hands in gratitude, and the dry earth drank up the water. The parched ground, cracked and lifeless, began to soften and absorb the precious liquid. Tiny streams formed, weaving through the village, bringing nourishment to the soil and hope to the people.
Sometimes all it takes is a clever mind to bring great change. Isa's wisdom and courage had brought the rain, transforming the fate of the village.
And so, the village was saved, its future now bright and full of promise. The once dry and desolate land began to flourish, green shoots emerging from the soil. All thanks to the wisdom of a young boy named Isa. His name would be remembered for generations, a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of adversity.